Zach here with Truck Fab Resource, and I'm sitting down with Anthony Eriks of Dumpster Panda. Anthony's here from Northern Indiana to pick up his brand new TrashCat 47 hoist on a pre-owned Freightliner M2 chassis. And I want to take a few minutes with Anthony here and just talk through what are the points, Anthony, that have led you to today, kind of your journey in scaling a roll-off business, and again, what brought you to today. So I know you started the roll-off business from another business. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about how that took place and kind of what that startup phase of the dumpster business looked like.
Okay. Yeah, so our primary business is a cleaning and restoration business. So we do fire, water, and mold restoration. And we always needed dumpsters, and we needed them at times when people were closed. So we had the opportunity to buy 5 dumpsters and a trailer from someone local. We did that, and then people were asking, hey, do you rent them? Because they would see them sitting in driveways. And pretty quickly after saying no a bunch of times, we're like, sure, why not? We'll rent them. So once we started renting them out, just kind of grew pretty quickly to 15 dumpsters. And I would say at the 15 point, we're like, all right, the truck and trailer works. It's just slow, and for us, we have a lot of narrow areas. So we wanted to get into something that was more compact, easier for people to use. A lot of folks aren't real confident with the trailer. So when we switched to a truck setup, we were able to do way more loads per day, and it was just a lot safer.
Gotcha, that makes sense. And so that was, and what you're running now is an electric truck that's got the electric winch and then an electric over hydraulic pump.
Correct.
And so then what you have now today is a full hydraulic system. It's got the Do Easy clutch pump, the Warren hydraulic winch, and just a heavier duty unit. And so what do you see in this versus what you're running now, and why now?
Right? Yeah, so the biggest thing for us is reliability and speed. The electric winch it's fine in most applications, but it likes to get really slow if you have a little bit of weight on it. So our guys get a little frustrated with the winch running really slow. And then for us, just a little bigger chassis, so we have a little more capacity for it. The other thing is the reliability with the hydraulic system compared to the electric system. It's just a lot more heavy duty, I guess you'd say, for running as many loads as we do per day. So we feel like it's a reliability gain. We feel like it's faster. For our operators, which ultimately we hope will allow us to squeeze in, extra load or 2 per day.
That makes sense. And you say you're sitting right around 50 dumpsters right now.
Yep.
That's cool. So what have you done along the way? I mean, equipment is certainly one part of that, what it takes to grow a business. But what have you done along the way to get from 5 to 15 and now 50 dumpsters? That's a point where a lot of guys want to get. Equipment aside, what's it taken to get there?
I would say the biggest thing from a growth standpoint is we talked about social media. We use social media almost exclusively to build this business. It's still one of our best referral sources for new customers. So we don't do a ton of shingle loads. We don't do any concrete. We don't haul dirt. We really specialize and go after the folks that are looking to gain more room in the garage, clear out the basement. So we've really focused on those folks because they tend to be lighter loads. They tend to fill them up on the weekend, so we can actually, even though it's a 7-day rental, we can get that dumpster back faster and turn it again quicker. But we've really focused on how do we get that residential customer who needs to declutter and get them to book either a 12 or a 16 yard. And like I said, the weight's really low. They turn them fast. Pretty quickly, we ran the business off a spreadsheet till probably, 20 dumpsters. And then we switched to Docket, and Docket's been fantastic for us. The online booking people love, so that's been really good. But I would say, for us, it's that social media, really being active on there, trying to find loads, and then just having a really easy system for folks to use.
Makes a lot of sense. So looking back retrospectively to each of those breakpoints and each of those milestones, would you have done anything differently as far as equipment goes, per se? Whether it be buy more dumpsters at a given point before you bought that truck, wait till more than 15 cans, or buy it sooner? What are some things that you would advise someone in your similar situation, 2, 3, 5 years ago?
Yeah, I think for us, the big change was I stopped doing the deliveries with the truck and trailer. Okay. So then as soon as we put somebody else in it, it became very evident quickly that the truck and trailer wasn't the best option. We needed to go the truck route because of the ease and the safety of it. And then the other thing too, we saw is as soon as we got to the point where, we're doing probably 5 to 7 loads in a day, the trailer became like really tough. We would end the day with a full can because we couldn't get to the dump in time to empty it. So like once we got the truck, we could turn these cans, the stops a lot faster, and we weren't coming back to the yard full. Because our goal is always to empty the dumpster and then have it on the truck ready to go for the next delivery and start the day with the delivery. So like we feel like that 5 to 7-ish stops per day was when the trailer just didn't work for us, even with myself running it. But for us, the biggest thing is you can get somebody in this truck. You can do a couple days of ride along as long as they're a decent driver and aware of their surroundings. Give them a couple days of shadowing a driver and going through the operation side of it, and you can get a driver up to speed really quick. With the truck, the trailer could have been weeks just teaching people how to, feel comfortable backing it into tight spots.
Yeah. We were talking earlier off camera about just what it takes to scale a business and principles that apply to a roll-off business, to cleaning and restoration, to even to building a truck business. And no matter what that is, no matter how good you are, you can only do so much as one person.
Yep.
And it takes a really good team, really well equipped and really well trained, but it takes other people outside of ourselves to build that business. And so it sounds like that's something that you're being really conscious of and training and equipping and leading your team well to grow it beyond what you could ever do just by yourself.
For sure. Yeah. If you have big dreams, you need a lot of people. You can't do it all yourself unless you don't want to see your family or you want to work yourself to death. So like as we've built the business, we've thought of like, if we do this, how does it impact that new person that comes on to put them in a position to be successful? That's a term we use in our business a lot is, are we putting people in a position to be successful? So are they properly trained? Do they have the resources? Do they have just, the confidence to go do things? So, for us, when we look at, growing the business and really growing the team, every time we build a new position, are we giving that position everything that they need to be successful? And if they go out and they're not successful and we fell short, it's not really their fault. It's our fault because we didn't do our part to support them and to give them the tools and resources they need to be successful. And like going back to the truck, I feel like that's really a big part of this because we know a trailer is difficult, especially just a regular trailer. Now you're trying to get it lined up with rails and get a can under it. So for us, like as we add drivers, it's way easier for somebody to go out and be successful and to fulfill all their stops during the day in a safe manner in a truck because everyone knows how to drive. Now we're just teaching them some fine tuning of like, here's how we load cans and operate the system. So, from the dumpster business perspective, we feel like the truck is the best way to put someone in a position to be successful.
Yeah. And I mean, in a economy like this where good help can be hard to find, so many employers don't pay attention to what does it take to make someone successful, because ultimately that team member is going to feel more successful, they're going to last longer, and chances are they probably have friends that are of a similar mind. Yep. And ultimately when they're successful, you're successful. And so everybody wins on that front.
Yeah, and the other thing too about like going to a truck like this, like for us, you guys found a really great truck, it's low mileage. Like I would love to drive this all day. Like, I don't want to put somebody in a truck that they're like, oh, I got to go drive that truck again. So for us, we talked about what we wanted in this chassis, like, right. And you found us exactly that because we want the person to be able to go to work. We don't want the truck to beat them up all day. We want the job to be easier for them because it is hard to find people. So we want the truck to be part of that thing that draws them to the job. If you ask somebody to come in and, there's no, air conditioning, you're out 12 hours a day in a truck that's just bouncing you around and beating you up, well, they're not going to enjoy that very much, and eventually they're going to look for something different. So the equipment part of it is really important for us and keeping the drivers happy.
Doesn't matter how much you save if you got a high driver turnover because they can't put up with the equipment. You're not really saving much money.
Yeah, well,
right?
If we're saving $500 a month, but I have to go do the route because everyone keeps quitting, that's a loss.
How further ahead are you? You're not.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
So Anthony, what of the options on the market, what led you to the Trash Cat? What made sense for this to be the unit to grow your business?
Yeah, we have a truck setup that's pure electric, and probably about a year or so ago, we started having problems with it and just the speed and all that. And we started knowing we wanted something different, but we didn't know what it was. And at the time, we didn't know about Trash Cat. And we started doing some research and then watched a ton of the YouTube videos. We saw the reliability of it, the consistent winch speed. Saw that it wasn't relying on electric. So for us, very quickly, we realized this is that perfect setup for the type of can that we want to run that'll be a great truck for the operator. It's going to have less breakdowns, and it's going to hopefully lead to a lot more lifts per day.
Cool. Well, Anthony, again, I thank you for your trust in giving us your business and allow us to be a part of your growth journey. We're truly excited to see where this takes you, and yeah, just be a part of that growth journey along the way. So thank you again for your trust. Thank you for your business.
We appreciate everything. This whole process was super easy. You guys were great to communicate with, and the product's been phenomenal. So I really appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks so much.
Cool.